time, and no one, I mean, none of the experts expected Anaheim to be here. And the winner will take home the Stanley Cup.
Devils are used to shaking hands in the playoffs, but after the last game in the last series for the Stanley Cup, they're not used to doing it in the first series.
For New Jersey, that defeat at the hands of the Hurricanes, coupled with a devastating Game 7 loss to Colorado in 2001, was a signal that changes were needed. Kevin Constantine would become the Devils' third head coaching casualty in 3 years, and Bobby Holik, a 10-year mainstay, opted for free agency. For Lou Lamoriello, re-energizing the franchise was an enormous challenge.
I've always said that Lou Lamoriello, without a doubt, is the best GM in hockey. I don't even think there's anyone close to him. What he does with the money he spends and the trades he makes and the things he does, he's the best.
Lamoriello began by hiring veteran coach Pat Burns. Known as a stern taskmaster, Burns was exactly what New Jersey needed.
I thought that some of our younger players who we sort of turned over some key situations too, I didn't think they were ready for it, and they needed a certain type of coach. They needed someone that would demand that from them day in and day out. But on the other hand, we also needed someone who, in my mind, had playoff experience, someone who would coach in the playoffs, because our goal is always to win and go as far as we can. I thought Pat was the perfect fit.
Lamoriello wanted change on the ice as well. At the draft, he and Anaheim GM Brian Murray planted the seeds for a major move.
I just talked to Lou about Sikora. He wants to do that.
The line that we had of Patrick Elias, Peter Sikora, and Jason Arnott was exceptional. But I also thought that they became more of the focus than the team. And I thought that maybe when they didn't play with each other, they thought that they couldn't do without each other. And I don't think you can ever have success like that. So in my mind, I felt as though that the team is the most important thing, which is the philosophy of our organization, and we decided to make a change.
He said Sikora's a hell of a player. I said Jeff Friesen's a hell of a player.
I've always liked Jeff. You know, we had him rated very high prior to his draft year, and Ole we knew about. He had played on the Russian Olympic team, so we felt as though we were getting two quality character people as well as talented, and it was something that we felt we had to do.
We'll get something done, I think. Lou's when he starts, it's pretty good.
Pretty big hockey news concerning the New Jersey Devils tonight, and the deal being consummated apparently just moments before we took the air. At the centerpiece tonight of a 7-player deal with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks is Peter Sikora. The Devils acquiring from Anaheim defenseman Oleg Tverdovsky, forward Jeff Friesen. In exchange, the Devils give up Sikora.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect going into the season. I mean, I always know this team's going to be competitive, but it was a little bit of a different look. We lost some key members, brought in some younger guys.
I guess there were some question marks, and you're wondering at training camp, but you know, we started off the year very well and never really looked back.
On opening night, one Devil who stepped to the forefront was John Madden.
A steal, and John Madden moving in. Alfredson trying to catch. Score! John Madden with his second goal of the game, and the Devils lead 2-0.
Nobody can lose Bobby Holik, who arguably is the best defensive forward in the NHL, and they get better defensively. Madden steps into Holik's role. Not only is as good defensively as Holik, but better offensively than Bobby.
Madden looking for the hat trick, and he got it!
I think he surprised a lot of people by his offensive skill.
Madden out of the box, charges in on a breakaway. Look, shoots, score!
I think he just got some responsibilities. You know, they told him, you're the man now. You're the one that's going to check. And he really took a lot of pride and having that role in our hockey club.
That's one of the great things about Madden, not just his speed, but his great hockey sense.
Because he's always in a good position, he gets in the right places for opportunities, and defensively he's done just such a great job, and that's why he's nominated for Sulky.
History may prove that the arrival of John Madden in Albany 4 years ago is one of the great things that happened to this franchise.
Madden and the Devils won 11 of 18 games to start the season, but their first big test would come against the defending champs. The teams battled into overtime.
And it's forced loose right near Brodeur. Down and drop, rebound, score! Draper!
Most teams would have been happy to leave Motown with a point, but Scott Stevens made sure his team was anything but happy.
I thought we should have won that game, and here we were playing the ex-Stanley Cup champions, and you know, we wanted to beat them. I wanted to beat that hockey club, and you know, we lost in overtime, and you know, some guys thought, you know, it was good enough, and you know, I don't like to lose.
Scotty snapped. I thought he might throw a skate at me or something, and of course he's got, you know, veins popping out his neck, and he's speaking from the heart. He made it clear that it wasn't acceptable. The biggest difference between, I think, a winning team and a losing team in my mind is just how much a guy like that wants to win and wants everything to be done right. And it was just a great speech because I think it hit everyone in the heart.
An inspired Friesen responded to the captain's edict 3 nights later.
Nieuwendyk on the backhand side. Here's Friesen! Scores! With 12 seconds to go, and the Devils have won it 5-4.
It was Friesen's brightest moment since the deal that brought him and Oleg Tverdovsky to New Jersey.
How's the state of New Jersey, the city here, the team, the Devils, how are they treating you?
Well, it's great. You know, obviously we have a great record, and you know, it's a big change for both of us, especially from last year. It's great playing with a lot of great veterans, and it's actually it's surprisingly very nice here, and close to the big New York City. So the change has been good for me anyway.
You know, Oleg, what's the main difference you found from your first month here?
Well, the hockey is a little different. I think it's more systems in the East. You know, teams play real discipline, good defense. Not that much open ice. In Western Conference, probably a lot of intensity in the game and a lot of skating. Here is like more like a chess, you know, because everybody's just so disciplined, and it's tough to find your room. But you know, we're winning, so it's a big thing.
I mean, you are the furthest thing now from a losing team. Perennial playoff team in New Jersey, 2 cups in the past 7 years. What changes in your mindset as a hockey player when you come here and say, I'm on a team that plans on winning the cup?
Well, you know, playing in Anaheim, you want to win, but you realize in the back of your mind that that's probably not going to happen this year, and next year not again. You know, you come in here to an organization that's been, you know, dedicated to winning for a long time and having such a great team, and you know, you just you believe in it right away, and you know, it just changes your game. You want it, you know, you want it so bad, and you know, you play better, I think.
Jeff, Canadian kid, Stanley Cup is everything, obviously. You were in San Jose, had a strong team. What do you think?
Well, it's great to be a part of this. I mean, obviously, in San Jose, we were getting better, and then you know, took a step back when I was traded. You know, in Anaheim, we had a rough year, so it's real exciting to be here and just be part of this and having a chance for the Stanley Cup. I mean, that's what you play for, right. and it's. You know, I finally get the opportunity to have a real shot at it.
Now, Oleg, you're also learning, I'm assuming, from the captain, Scott Stevens. Even though you've been in the league for so many years, he still is one of the guys who everyone looks up to as he's the ultimate leader.
Well, I think a lot of guys, I mean, we all look up. I mean, guy played a lot of years, he has a lot of experience, winning cups. And even to this day, you know, you look at him in the game, he has intensity of an 18-year-old boy, you know, he just goes out there and wants to compete and you know, it gets all the team going, you know. We even say in the band, easy dad, you know. Because,
easy dad?
Yeah, that's what we call him. But, you know, he's always there, you know, he's got your back, and Ken Danica too, you know. This guy's been here for a while, and, you know, you can learn a lot from him.
And the Devils' youth movement continued to pay dividends.
On now comes Elias. Elias moving in. Fenway! one in front. Giannis scores! The Devils win in overtime, 1-0.
Oh boy, the Devils just crushed the Flyers psychologically.
Two players still trying to find their way were Patrick Elias and Scott Gomez. Then, in early January, Pat Burns shuffled the deck.
It was on the 7th of January when Montreal was in that Pat Burns first put Elias to a left wing from a center and Gomez as his centerman from the left wing.
There was nothing happening between those two for a good while, and until we said, hey, let's try it one more time, we put them back together, and finally they clicked.
It's especially sweet when someone like Elias scores off a pass and a play with Gomez, because Pat Burns wants chemistry to develop as a line, and that's happening with those two.
When you make changes like that and all of a sudden you go on in the next 20 games and lose only 4, then you realize you must have done something right, and Pat didn't win those Coach of the Years for nothing. That was a brilliant bit of assembly.
That win on January 7th saw Joe Nieuwendyk tally career goals .498 and .499, leaving him on the cusp of a major milestone.
Well, as the build-up towards it was more than anything that I remember. It's kind of ironic. You score 499, and so much attention is paid to the next one. But I remember the play. It was just a dump out by them.
Dealt away and right to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk moving back in, gliding in front. He scores! Joe Nieuwendyk with his 500th goal. A marvelous play from the left circle. A remarkable fake on Kevin Weeks and just slid it into the empty net. 500 for Joe.
Nieuwendyk and the Devils surged to the Atlantic Division crown thanks in large part to the best goaltender in the game.
There's no question that he is the backbone of our organization.
There's lots of people saying Brodeur is the best player in hockey, period, let alone the best goaltender.
Marty, without a doubt, is the perfect goaltender for this team. Marty doesn't get any respect because they say he wins because of the system, and that's wrong. We're talking about the best goalie in hockey.
You got to have a greater goaltending to be the champions, and it just gives you the comfort zone, even knowing that when you make a mistake, it's gonna make the big saves for you.
Taken away, and here's Gagne on the breakaway. Left, shoots. Oh, what a save by Brodeur!
To do things consistently year in and year out the way he's done, and if you watch him every day, it's just a pleasure.
The veteran goaltender in the shadow of Patrick Waugh to a degree, coming out as the best goaltender in the league. He's had that kind of season.
40th win. The first to ever have 4 40 victory seasons.
Oh, what a great finish to an outstanding season for the New Jersey Devils.
We were playing playoff-style hockey probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think that prepared us for what was ahead. We earned the right for the second seed, and once the playoffs started, we were ready to move on.
The Devils opened the playoffs against Boston, who were led by a blossoming superstar in Joe Thornton. And while he would have to wrestle with a smothering Devils defense, Jamie Langenbrunner had no such difficulties.
Ahead now, it is Friesen. Friesen trying to pull by Boynton. Around in front, and a save rebound. Score! Langenbrunner! And it's 1-0.
Nieuwendyk being tied up by Hal Gill. And now the puck through the middle of the ice, Langenbrunner scores!
I feel like I came here in the trade to perform in the playoffs, and I didn't do it the first year, so it was just kind of that feeling of I finally did my job, what I came over here for.
Up with this now, Jamie Langenbrunner walks it ahead, gave it on down to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer walks in, Langenbrunner drives, score!
Oh my, Jamie Langenbrunner hot or what? 3 goals already in this series.
He was scoring timely goals for us, big goals for our hockey club, game winners, and it's so imperative you're playing at your best and you're getting big goals, because the first round's usually the most difficult. You can get knocked out awfully early or get upset, and Jamie was one of those guys that carried us offensively.
2 games to none, New Jersey.
As the series shifted, much of the talk was about Langenbrunner. But line mate John Madden had shut down Thornton, and in Game 3, his face-off prowess paid dividends.
Scott Stevens takes his shot, scores! And look out, here's a foot race, Pandolfo and Dan McGillis. Madden there as well, empty net. Madden in front, score!
Oh my goodness, so the problem's going to be what Murray did to Madden after the play.
He really developed into a leader this year too. Over the years, I've just seen that really emerge in him, and you can never have too many guys that help lead and have guys that you can look up to, and he was one of the guys that you could look up to and was a big part of this.
The Devils looked for a sweep in Game 4, but they would have to do it without Ken Danico. The Devils' heart and soul was a healthy playoff scratch for the first time in his 18-year career.
Had a tough game against Boston in Game 3. We knew that we had some guys that were fresh, some guys that maybe could have helped a little bit more, and we made that decision.
This is the 166th playoff game the New Jersey Devils have played in their history. It'll be their first ever without Ken Danico. For the first time in his career, he has a healthy scratch.
It was disappointing, but I had to take a step back and understand that this is about the big picture.
With Danico out of the lineup, New Jersey lost Game 4, but it would only delay the inevitable. Back in New Jersey, the series ended as it began.
Boy, has Madden ever been in trouble in this series. And he beats it across the Langenbrenner. Score! Langenbrenner from Madden, and it's 2-0. Coming by Rafalski, cleared it along. Langenbrenner finessed it out to center. The net is empty. Langenbrenner shoots. Score!
I thought we were playing our best hockey at that time, and it showed. We just, we just rolled. We just started rolling. In the playoffs, that's all it takes.
The Eastern Conference semifinals brought a young, confident Tampa Bay Lightning club to town. But like Boston, they had no answer for Jamie Langenbrenner.
On comes Langenbrenner to shot. Score! Jamie Langenbrenner! And it's 1-0. Madden turning, got it. Langenbrenner, open shot, save, rebound. Langenbrenner scores! How about Jamie Langenbrenner? He is just too much in this playoff year.
Every time it seems the pressure gets more intense, he comes out with a stronger game and gets those key goals.
That was huge. I mean, either going to Tampa 1-1, but to have the momentum, especially an overtime win, couldn't ask for anything more.
As the series shifted to Tampa Bay, the Devils were dealt a frightening blow.
The Lightning and the home whites, and the Devils will be visiting Red.
Oh, man.
And on the dumping, Stevens is down on the ice.
You saw the bench just go, oh my God, number one for Scott's health, but number two going, if he's out for any extended period of time, we could be in trouble.
He's such an important part of their entire locker room, and everybody cares for him, and there's a worry, there's a concern.
Well, it was tough. Things were going pretty well. We had a lead on Tampa, and it was a little scary. I was definitely a little concerned, and if I can't get off the ice on my own, I'm in a little bit of trouble.
As long as I've been here, he's always been in the lineup. He's always been there, and it definitely affected us that game.
Here's Modine speeding it across the line, hits the brace, that's a goal, scores! And it's 3-0 Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow!
Myself had stood up, and a couple of guys said, let's play as hard as our captain would want us to, and we battled back to a 3-3 tie. Unfortunately, the end result didn't work out. We didn't win.
And this one is over. Lightning win, and we've got ourselves a series. Tampa, a 4-3 winner on home ice.
Stevens' status and the Devils' future was uncertain.
No one was sure he was going to play. No one really saw him all day. Then we see him at the snack before we're going out.
Felt better a couple days after, and I thought I'd give it a try, and unfortunately I was able to come back and be able to help the team.
Scott Stevens received around 15 stitches. He's got a protective device on that left ear, and he is back in the lineup, and that's no surprise, the warrior that he is. Stevens is shot, he scored! Scott Stevens off the face-off, a power play goal, and it's 3-1.
All that happens is that he got 2 assists, scored a goal, was a +3, shut down the Cavalier, shut down San Luis, and just turn that series around, and that's what leadership does.
Back home with a commanding lead, the Devils put away Tampa Bay in triple overtime.
Niedermeyer holds, shoots one, and it's knocked down. Scramble, score! Marshall! The Devils win it!
Devils are going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
As they had in so many postseasons, the Devils' engine was powered by role players. For Jamie Langenbrunner, the first 2 rounds put to rest any pain that lingered after his trade from Dallas.
I was disappointed, for lack of better words. I was just disappointed. I expected to stay in Dallas. I never saw it coming. I was told by management I wasn't getting traded, so it came as a big shock. And I think, it was tough coming here, moving the family and everything. But once I got settled, it's been great.
It's Langenbrunner moving on in. Score! Jamie Langenbrunner against his old team, the first goal of the game.
How nice is it for you to find some solidarity here, to sign a contract and say, okay, I am a Devil now?
It was great. I had been on 1-year contracts in Dallas for the last 3 years or something, so when Lou made a point of wanting to sign me to a longer-term deal, and it worked out great, and it's took a little bit of a load off the mind. I think that helped me a lot.
Speaking of Lou, he's been quoted as saying something to the effect of, when you watch Jamie play, he seems as though he's been a Devil for a very long time.
I'll take that as a compliment. This is a great organization that, especially in the last 10 years, has been at the upper echelon of the league consistently. They've been to 3 Stanley Cups and won 2 of them in 10 years. That's pretty impressive, and just proud to be part of the organization.
Ottawa. How do you guys match up with them? How do you play a team like this? Number 1 and 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference. I mean, you guys are supposed to be here. How does this series flush out?
We got the advantage of, guys that have been in this situation a little more. They got the advantage of being the number 1 team and having home ice. They're the best team in the league, and we go in it as the underdog, and that's fine with us.
It wasn't simply Ottawa's regular season success that cast the Devils in the role of underdog. For the first time, the Senators had become a force in the playoffs, highlighted by an impressive 6-game win over the Flyers.
Going into that series, I know we were very, very worried. In a good way, we were scared to lose, because we knew if we didn't play our best, Ottawa could manhandle us as good as they were playing.
We knew we had a challenge, and we knew they had a lot of depth, and they had 4 solid lines. They were the top team in the league, but we were ready to play them.
But if the Devils were ready, so were the Senators.
Here's Giolta in front, and a save by the lead. Turned over. Robertson shot, score! It's deflected in front. I think it's Chris Neal. 1-0 Senators. Back to the point. Shot, save, rebound, score! It's Todd White, and it's 2-0 Ottawa.
It's a great start for Ottawa hockey fans. This is as far as they've been in the Stanley Cup run. This is the first game of the conference final, and they're ahead 2-0.
Showing their resilience, the Devils scored twice, forcing overtime and a dramatic conclusion to Game 1 of the conference finals.
Who's going to be the hero tonight? Here's Van Allen. What a pick off. They score! Sean Van Allen in sudden death overtime. And the Corral Senators explode. The Senators win. They lead the series.
They were something else. They were a dominant team in Game 1, and the fact that I thought we were so good, and how could we be dominated for 40 minutes of the game.
Still looking for a split in Ottawa, the Devils came out flying in Game 2.
Here are the Devils now. It's a 2-on-1. Here's Friesen. Let it go, and he scores! And here's a short-handed chance. It's Elliott. Shot.